Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. What's up, everybody? Good morning and happy Tuesday. DK Show coming to you from the TDS Sports Talk Studios this morning. Thanks for making us a part of your start. If you are already up and at it, whether you are listening on the radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM, available to stream up at sportstalk1051.com. You've got your smart devices, app, download it, tag it on the go. Video stream also up and rolling on YouTube. Go check it out. All right, youtube.com/@ Dan Casper. Just search Man Cave TV over there, too. Would appreciate a quick follow, subscribe on there, too. But what do we have on our game plan for us this morning? Brewers begin another series. Brewers pick up another win. Brewers fell behind last night, but able to come back and pick up the 8-6 win to take game one of this three-game series against the Boston Red Sox. Wasn't without a little bit of drama, though, with Wilson Contreras, Williams' brother, yesterday or last night. Contreras, I'm going to call it for what it is, barely hit by a pitch by Brandon Woodruff and threw a temper tantrum. And this goes back years between Wilson Contreras and the Brewers, and little specifically Brandon Woodruff, who got the start last night. But Contreras upsets and such that it kind of kicked it into gear for the Brewers a little bit. And at that point, the Red Sox were up, but that kind of got the Brewers a little bit more focused and energized, if you will. So last night, Christian Yelich saying after the game, quote, "I mean, we've seen that skit for the last 10 years. It's nothing new." Love that quote from Yelly. I love that quote. Brandon Woodruff saying, "We've been through this. It's, 9 years for me? Seems like every year he's trying to play a game and he's trying to get his side fired up. Once I knew what was going on, I wasn't going to let it affect me on the mound. I knew I had a job to do." Contreras, after the game, said that, quote, "They always say I'm not trying to hit you. That gets old, so the next time they hit me again, I'm going to take one of them out. That's the message." All right. Chill, big guy. Then he slid karate chop, spikes high against Hamilton, which tore his pants, which, again, kudos to the Brewers' social media peeps. They took a picture of the torn pants from Hamilton and with the quote, "Ripped off another win." Love it. Add a little more juice to this. Why not? I mean, Brewers and Red Sox one series, barely even playing and such. So good for them. Why not? I like a little testy, a little rivalry, if you will. But the only thing that matters in all this chit chat and talk and trash talk and this and that and whatever is who wins on the scoreboard. And that was the Brewers last night, picking up that 8-6 win. So, and now we get set up for quite the pitching matchup. Got Jacob Mizorowski taking the ball for the Brew Crew, and Garrett Groshette going for the Boston Red Sox. So we'll take a look at this matchup in this game coming your way here in just a little bit. So plenty of baseball talk, plenty of Brewers talk throughout this morning. We're going to continue our Giannis and Bucks chat because, yesterday we highlighted a couple pieces from Lori Nickel from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Another one dropped yesterday, and it's another awesome job by Lori Nickel, and really kind of pulling back the curtain on what's going on with Giannis and the Bucks, and this one. Okay, yesterday, I'll admit it, didn't really paint a fantastic picture of Giannis finishing his career or continuing his career with the Bucks. This one maybe kind of changes it a little bit. And it's essentially, Giannis still says he's definitely open and of coming back to the Bucks and such. So we'll go through this and go through some more of the comments from Giannis in another fantastic piece by Lori Nickel from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. So that's coming your way here this morning. The Bucks are back in action tonight as they take on the Brooklyn Nets on the road. So speaking of hoops, last night Michigan taking down UConn in the national championship. So the Big Ten picking up the title here too. And yesterday also with college basketball, North Carolina, they've got their new head coach going with the pro ranks. I had wondered, last week, was it last week or maybe even, I think it was the week before, we're kind of talking about this. I'm kind of curious to where North Carolina is going to go with this, considering it's, they hired Bill Belichick to lead their football team. Could they make another kind of surprising hire, bold hire and such? And I'd say that fits the bill in terms of surprising. Michael Malone is going to be the new head coach for the North Carolina Tar Heels, formerly the head coach of the Denver Nuggets when they won the title from a couple of years ago. So, a little bit surprising. No connection from, coaching or playing at North Carolina. The only real connection is his daughter plays volleyball at North Carolina, and apparently he had attended b-ball practice a few times last year. So we'll talk plenty of hoops here coming your way this morning. Also on the docket, we'll continue our Packers draft prospect countdown series as we inch closer and closer to the NFL draft, just a couple weeks away here. So we are continuing our series of some potential prospects for the green and gold when it comes to their round 2 and 3 picks, day 2 picks. So we'll continue that chat coming up a little bit later on. We'll talk plenty of Badgers with Mr. R.J. Cardinal. He'll be joining us in a couple hours from now, as he usually does every Tuesday in the 8 o'clock hour. So we'll talk about John Blackwell's decision to leave the program, regardless if it's going to be through the draft or the transfer portal. And we'll talk a little college hockey as we get set for the Frozen Four with the Badgers. So we'll talk plenty of Badgers with Mr. R.J. Cardinal coming up a little bit later on. Also, it is a Toyson Ford Grind My Gears Tuesday. So now is the time we talk about it. It's a feel-good Tuesday, right? So it's a Grind My Gears Tuesday with Toyson Ford. What's grinding your gears? Make it appropriate. We'll read it off out of the air. You'll feel better about yourself. Speaking of feeling better about yourself, it's a Sports Confession Tuesday. So if you've got to confess some sports sins from the past week or so, let us know. It's all about Feel Good Tuesday. So we'll get to those. Again, best ones, make them appropriate so I can read up on the air. It is also a I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. Give me the best sports take, sports opinion, sports thought that you have where you would say, I'm not saying blank, but I'm just saying blank. All right, send them on over. So that's your game plan for us this morning. Let's pitter-patter, let's get at her, shall we? We'll open up things here. We're going to talk some baseball. We're going to talk some Brewers baseball to open up things. So Brew Crew picking up another win to improve to 8-2 on the season. First 10 games in, and they're 8-2. So we'll talk about that. Recap last night's win, a little testy win between the two teams, and look ahead to, at least on paper, a fantastic pitching matchup between a young fireballer with a very bright future and sky's the limit, and Jacob Mizorowski with Garrett Groshette, who is a popular pick to be a Cy Young winner this year in the American League. So, baseball talk. Let's get at it. We'll take our first break, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes. Talk some Brewers, talk some baseball after these few words. Spring is here. It is the perfect time for a fresh start and a new ride. Whether you are planning some road trips or tackling some weekend projects, or you're just ready for something new, now is the time to upgrade. And at Toyson Ford, you'll find a great selection of trucks, SUVs, and cars built to fit your lifestyle and your budget. Plus, their team is here to make your car buying experience easy and stress-free. This spring, drive something that you love. That's Toyson Ford. Your next adventure starts here. Don't forget, it is a Toyson Ford Grind My Gears Tuesday. So, what is grinding your gears, peeps? Send them on over. Share it with the rest of the class. Let's open up things here this morning on the leadoff, talking a little Brew Crew as the Brewers pick it up an 8-6 victory last night to begin their series with the Boston Red Sox. And well, the Brewers kind of began in a hole, but so far in their first 10 games of the season, playing from behind hasn't been really anything new for the Brew Crew. Hasn't really derailed them, hasn't, affected them that much. But Red Sox putting up 3 through the first 3 innings. But the Brewers responded by putting up 4 in the top of the 4th to take the lead. Red Sox took it back in the bottom of the frame. Brewers tying it up in the 5th. And then in that 8th inning, Garrett Mitchell, man, with a couple base runners on, able to stoink a triple into left field. A bad throw by Roman Anthony that allowed Christian Yelich to just by a fingernail get home. Awesome slide by Christian Yelich to get home, to get that run. Heads up base running by Garrett Mitchell to be able to take third. Didn't score from there, but with that big hit to propel the Brewers to victory. And then Sal Frelick adding a little bit more of an insurance run, RBI in the top of the 9th there. Red Sox did get a solo shot from Contreras in the bottom of the 9th and maybe making things a little bit more tight at the end and had the tying run at the plate and such. But nonetheless, the Brewers picking up the W. Not the, you look at Brandon Woodruff's numbers and, watching the game last night, obviously giving up the runs early, battling it out, but was able to give him a little bit of length, going 5 2/3, 3 earned runs, 5 runs total, did issue a couple walks, did have 4 Ks. Fastball was just maybe a little bit off, a little tick off in terms of the miles per hour last night, too. So, but battled it out. Got through it, able to give them some length and such. So, nonetheless, he picks up the no decision. Aaron Ashby, picking up the win. He's already 3-0 to begin the season. But Woodruff throwing 94 pitches last night, too. I think that's probably one of the biggest things is to see the amount of pitches. The amount of pitches that Brandon Woodruff was able to go last night. So, I look at that as a big positive. Like, all right, second start of the season, giving some length, stretching it out. Let's go, baby. All right, got to feel good about that with Woodruff and such. So, be curious, see how he bounces back, and you always hear about with pitchers and such, how they're feeling the next day, recovery, a couple days after such, and is it the good soreness and all that. So hopefully that's the case for Brandon Woodruff. But little drama last night between Woodruff and Contreras, not his catcher, but William Contreras' brother, Wilson Contreras, who is with the Boston Red Sox, and obviously Wilson. Very familiar with the Brewers during his time with the Cubs and the Cardinals and such. So Contreras has been hit quite a bit of times. He's been hit 24 times by Brewers pitchers. And sorry, but it barely, I'm going to say it barely got hit last night by Woodruff. So much so where it was challenged and it was upheld in that. But Contreras, obviously very upset, annoyed, frustrated about it. he did perform well at the plate, too. 3 for 3, a couple walks, and we mentioned that home run. But yelling and, very aggressive slide, probably an unnecessary slide and such, where it was spiked Hamilton, tore his pants and such. But after the game, Wilson saying, quote, that was Yelly's quote, which we're going to get to here in a second. But Wilson going out there saying, they always say I'm not trying to hit you. That gets old. So the next time they hit me again, I'm going to take one of them out. That's the message. I feel bad for William Contreras. I mean, this is his brother, right? I mean, this is his brother talking about his team that he's on and such. I gotta imagine it's a little awkward. I gotta imagine it's just a bit awkward with this thing, with this relationship. So, but William Contreras last night was asked, with Wilson, screaming at Woodruff on the way to first base, and then William doing his role as catcher, trying to get between them, trying to cool the situation and such. And William said, "I tried, but it's impossible." That's how he plays. So Yelich, I think, had the quote of the night. I love the word skit that he throws in this. We've seen that skit for the last 10 years, he said. It's nothing new. Brandon Woodruff chiming in saying, we've been through this. It's 9 years for me? It seems like every year he's trying to play a game and he's trying to get his side fired up. Once I knew what was going on, I wasn't going to let it affect me on the mound. I knew I had a job to do. So, the Brewers kind of given the impression and such and sense that it's a big old acting thing. It's a big old skit to try to get his teammates and his team fired up and all that sort of stuff. But whatever. If that's what Contreras has to do, I guess that's what he's got to do and all that. But yeah, I don't know if it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be kind of one of those games when it opens up where benches are already pre-warned in that because of Contreras' comments after the game from last night. But I guess we'll kind of see what transpires and such leading into that. So biggest thing from last night is you get the W. You pick up the win. And you've begun your season 8-2. That's the biggest thing. And when you look at this Brewers team again, it's like, man, offense has kind of been the story here. That's to me, it's been the clutch hitting, it's been the timely hitting. That to me is the if we look at the first 10 games of this Brewer season, that to me has been the biggest surprise. Also, when you factor in that Cheerio hasn't been in here. Andrew Vaughn's only played one game. So, you look at that sort of stuff. That, to me, has been the nice, pleasant, big surprise in this whole thing. And I hope they continue to do it. Garrett Mitchell last night, and I thought it was a really cool nugget by Pat Murphy. Now, I don't know if anybody else heard this and such, but Pat Murphy, before the season when they figured out the roster, and he admitted he was wrong. And you really don't hear coaches, managers all the time, and it's kind of refreshing. We're all wrong about stuff. A lot of people don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit when they're wrong and such. But Pat Murphy admitted last night or the other day that, he was wrong about Garrett Mitchell because he had thought at the beginning of the season that maybe he needed to start off in AAA to kind of get going because Garrett Mitchell was struggling in spring training from an offensive standpoint. And it was the front office that said, no, we're good. We're going to, he's good. He's going to be a team. We're going to roll with him and such. And you look at it from an offensive side, Garrett Mitchell, he's striking out. He had a couple strikeouts again last night. 3 total strikeouts, but did have a couple hits and a couple of RBIs. So do you take the strikeouts with what he has been giving you so far from an offensive production standpoint? Hitting .333. His on-base percentage is .419, and his OPS is a .975. And he's had a couple of clutch hits so far this season. And obviously, it's probably not sustainable that he's going to continue to have a .975 OPS this year. It'd be awesome. It'd be really awesome. It'd be really awesome if he continues to hit over 300. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but odds are it's probably not going to happen. But you can't ask probably. I mean, you could probably say, if you want to pinpoint it, strikeouts, numbers, you'd like to see a little bit down more from Mitchell and such, because he does have 8 so far this season, or more than 8 this season. He's got, he had 5 in March, and he's got 8 so far in the month of April. So you'd like to see those numbers get down a little bit, obviously. But everything else, from an RBI standpoint, 13 to lead the team. And those offensive numbers that we just went through. So far, so good. Fingers crossed that the man just stays healthy. That he could just stay healthy throughout the season. And be that guy that a lot of people feel like that he can be. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. There was this thought. There was this, feeling that he could be one of the better center fielders in all of Major League Baseball. One of the better players on this team. Wasn't that long ago. It's been injuries that have been the big factor for Mitchell. We talk about being availability. And if you're not available, if you can't get on that field and perform and such, then what are you going to be? Then what are you doing, or what are we doing here? So maybe kind of a little bit of an informal poll question to throw out there, but from an offensive standpoint, you look at what Garrett Mitchell's been doing so far this season, right? Then you throw in Christian Yelich. Like, who has maybe surprised you just a little bit more? Because Christian Yelich rated out after 3 hits last night. And after he got home on that slide, you could tell dude was pumped up. He was pumped up. And we've seen Yelly now a couple times, with that monster home run earlier in the season. Pinch hit home run last night. Maybe seeing a little bit more emotion from Christian Yelich this year, but after last night, he is now up to hitting .395, an OPS of a 1.018, on base .439, 15 hits, 9 RBIs. I mean, those are ridiculous numbers. Those are probably not sustainable. But I mean, March, he finished with a handful of games, hitting .353, slugging .529. So far in the month of April, .429, slugging at .619. Man. And, yeah, sure. Again, he's probably kind of like Mitchell. He's got 11 strikeouts so far this year. Maybe you'd like to see that a little bit down. Not walking a ton. He's only got 3 walks so far in 10 games. But the guy, man, he's producing at the plate. Big time producing at the plate. Let's take a look at tonight's game. We got to take a quick break, but we'll preview this, at least on paper, what looks to be an epic pitching matchup between the Miz Kid and Garrett Groschette. We'll be back after these quick words. Baseball is back, and that means one thing. It's also brat season, so swing on into Mike's Star Market and stock up for game day the right way. From a fresh and wide variety of flavorful brats, you'll have everything you need to fire up the grill and feed the whole crew. Whether you're tailgating, backyard grilling, or you just catch a game at home, nothing says baseball like brats on the grill. Make every pitch, every inning, and every bite count. That's Mike Star Market in Eau Claire, your home for brat season. Kind of figured this would probably be a popular Grind My Gears Tuesday, a Twisted Ford Grind My Gears Tuesday. But Drew from Eau Claire says, Wilson has always been a head case. Zero chance Woody was trying to hit him with a pitch barely off the plate to load the bases with no outs. Dude has main character syndrome and is just mad he's stuck on a team that's going 2-8. Drew from Eau Claire. Our good buddy Mark says, what grinds my gears is Wilson Contreras. My old school hardcore baseball coach dad would be telling his pitcher, stick one in his ear. Not literally, but you understand. Absolutely. Here's the thing, too. Not saying it's going to happen, but, I mean, you got the Miz kid on the mound tonight. He can be a little erratic at times. And that one might hurt a little bit more than the grazing he got from Brandon Woodruff last night. So, as Joe said on our Section 105 chat for the video stream, that pitch never hit him. He is a big baby. And Hetch out there. Heck, I got a Hetch and I got a Heck. But Heck on there, too, says there will be consequences. So, well, let's take a look at tonight's matchup, shall we? We've got the Miz kid making his third start on the season. Garrett Groshette, a popular pick to be a potential Cy Young winner this year, going for the Boston Red Sox. Another left-handed pitcher going up against this Brewers lineup. And we look at Garrett Groshette so far in the first couple games. I picked up a win against the Reds back on opening day in the 26th. Going 6 innings, giving up 3 hits, no earned runs, striking out 8. Did have a loss. He's coming off of a loss on April Fool's Day, the first, going 5 innings against the Astros, 4 earned runs, 7 strikeouts. Jacob Izrowski, in his last 2 games, if you go back to opening day against the White Sox, when he picked up the win, 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, striking out 11, did issue 3 walks. And then Tampa, in the no decision, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. When you look at the lineups and the experience, obviously not a ton going up against the Miz kid. I mean, Contreras has a couple of at-bats and 1 RBI against him, and that's pretty much it. On the flip side, you do have a few Brewers with a little bit of experience going up against Garrett Groshette, whereas Ortiz has 6 at-bats. He's actually got an RBI and hitting .333 against him. Gary Sanchez, who's probably going to be in the lineup tonight, going up against a left-handed pitcher. 5 at-bats, but 0 for an average. You've got William Contreras, 5 career at-bats, just 200 against him as well. You've got Yelly, 3 career at-bats, .333. Bryce Rang, just 2 career at-bats and 500. So, again, not a ton of experience. Brewers hitters, just a little bit more familiar with the veteran Garrett Groshette. So, on paper, right, the matchups, the names, the talents, this looks like an epic pitching matchup. And I want to continue to see the Miz kid go out there and be consistent and develop into that ace. Because I still feel, I still feel whenever he's out there, I'm still a little nervous because, could he be a little erratic and such? The ace, I'm not ready to say he's an ace. I think it's still too early. But when it's his turn, I want to feel consistently like, all right, whenever he's out on the mound, I'm feeling good. Like, obviously we know the guy's got talent. We know the dude's there and such. It's just, I think, just waiting for that next step, the consistency part for the Miz kid. And you look at last year, I mean, this is a guy, though, too, that he's been in some big matchups and some big moments, and he's a guy that doesn't really shy away from that spotlight. He performs well under that spotlight, whether it was the hyped-up matchup with Paul Skeens or the Dodgers and And Clayton Kershaw, for crying out loud, some of his playoff moments last year, especially, against the Cubs in that. For this youngster, maybe for a lot of guys too, going to go make a start at Fenway, his first career start at Fenway, an iconic place against an iconic team, going up against one of the better pitchers in all of Major League Baseball. That would make anybody nervous, and I'm sure there is going to be some butterflies. But one thing is for certain that we have seen from Jacob Misiorowski throughout his young career so far is that this guy, he doesn't shy away from those big moments. He doesn't shy away from those narratives, from those stories, from those headlines. And in fact, the guy has played really well in those moments. So maybe that's what should give maybe a little bit more confidence with tonight's game, because you look at those moments from his limited starts and his limited appearances, and the guy has done well in those big moments. So he's approaching to where, though, when he does get those starts, where I'm like, all right, that spot in that rotation, that turn in that rotation, all right, I feel good now. We're going to come away with a W. We got this. I'm excited for tonight's game. Brewers have a chance not only to, pick up another win, but secure another series win. Improve to 9-2. You got the matchups. You got a little drama, obviously, between the two. And I'm sure if there's a close pitch, or if there is even an HBP, hit by pitch, maybe benches are already going to be warned ahead of time in that. But, we'll see how it all plays out. Take it one game at a time. But within the first 10 games of the season, if you had to pick an offensive player that has maybe kind of surprised you with their start, who do you think that would be? Is it Gary Sanchez with his limited opportunities, but the guy's got 3 home runs to lead the team? Is it Yelly with his OPS and average? Is it Garrett Mitchell? You look at a lot of his numbers and such. From a consistency standpoint, if you look at team leaders from an offensive side, one name that consistently shows up, in a top 3 of a lot of these categories, isn't number 1, but is consistently in there. That's Contreras. He's third on the team in OPS. Obviously, he's part of that group that has 1 home runs and such. But, he's top 3 in runs scored. He's top 3 in batting average. He's top 3 in RBIs. He's top 3 in hits. 265 average, 876 OPS. He's kind of quietly there. I'm sure a lot of people would like to see maybe that average tick up a little bit. He is a career 273, but his OPS is higher than his career averages. His on-base percentage is higher than his career averages. So throw a little love in there. But, man, I think the way that Yelly has been starting off so far this year, and Garrett Mitchell, those would be my top 2 picks. So, all right. I'm going to take a quick break here, but I want to I posted mine up last week. So we're getting set for the Masters, okay? And part of Masters Week tonight is the Champions Dinner. All right? Where Rory McIlroy got to create the menu and such. So I posted mine up last week on my Facebook page. But let's say you're the Masters champion, okay? And you had to go out there and, you're create that menu. What would be your Masters menu? Have a little fun with this one, all right? Mine was very Wisconsin themed. I'll go through it in case you missed it a little bit later on and such. So, but we got to take a quick break as we start to wrap up the first hour. We'll be right back after these few words. As the fields come back to life, it's time for spring sports here in the Chippewa Valley. Whether you're stepping up to the plate, hitting the track, or getting back on the field, make sure that your body is ready to perform. At Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, their team specializes in keeping athletes of all ages healthy, strong, and in the game. From injury prevention to expert care and recovery, they've got you covered every step of the season. Don't let pain keep you on the sidelines. Get back in the game with confidence. Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, helping you move better, play stronger, and to stay in the game. So coming up next hour, I want to go through the latest installment from Lori Nichols' Giannis piece on the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, which then ESPN just dropped from Shams a rather long form. I don't think the timing is coincidental, but Shams has a piece that dropped this morning titled "Inside the Fractured Relationship Between Giannis and the Bucks." So, again, I don't think it's timing is ironic, right? No, I don't. But public service announcement, if you want to just go straight to the source, himself, Giannis, and and I get it, okay? I'm not trying to really, rail on Shams. Shams obviously has connections, has sources, all that stuff. We know that, okay? He has them. But it's also, I mean, if you want to go to a piece where you actually hear from Giannis himself and quotes from him, go read Lori's piece on the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, and especially the latest one where he talks about his future with the Bucks and whether he wants to be there or not. And we're going to get to that coming up here just past the top of the hour. But for it's paints a couple of different pictures here, because just to read the last line in Shams' piece, quote, this is as toxic of a team situation as any in the league, one source close to the team said. They waited until the very end on Giannis, and now everyone knows. Well, I'll just tell you what Giannis told Lori. It's not necessarily the end, just to tease it here a little bit. So I guess, honestly, that's kind of my grind my gears, to be real with y'all, is I'm going to go with the local reporting. I'm going to go with the local side of it, where you actually have Giannis on record and talking in that. Now, is there probably some truth? Is there where some smoke, there's fire with this ESPN piece that dropped this morning? Sure, there's probably some truth. I'm not going to sit here and just degrade the whole thing, because I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not in the locker room. I'm not in the building. I'm not behind the scenes. I'm sure there is some stuff. They know more about it than I do, but I'm going to go with Lori's piece here. Just a couple minutes left. Good morning, Morgan.
How's it going, Casper?
It's going good.
That's what's grinding your gears?
What?
The Giannis thing?
Just an ESPN piece.
Yeah.
Something about Giannis.
So you know what else grinds gears around this place? Did you notice you still a little stuffy?
I sound like it, I think, so.
Okay, so you have a roll of toilet paper in here. I'm assuming it's for your nose, though I guess that's your own business.
Yeah.
Do you notice that we have no Kleenexes in this building?
No, and people give me crap on the video stream when I have it, but it's because we don't have any Kleenexes in this building.
It's a toilet paper kind of thing. And
yeah.
I mean, theoretically, it works the same, but for some reason, it's hard to make that mental shift when you're sick, and then you just carry the roll of toilet paper around with you.
It's easier, too, to be honest.
It kind of is.
Tissue paper should be in a roll instead of a box.
Okay, I can agree with that. That's fine. Do you say Kleenex or do you say tissues?
Kleenex.
I just recently saw a list of things that are actually brand names that people think are ubiquitous with the product, and the list is long. Like fridge, refrigerator. That's why there's no D in refrigerator when you spell it that way. Like little things like that. But grind my gears Tuesday. So, do you brush your teeth before or after breakfast?
Before.
Not after. Doesn't it change the way everything tastes?
I'll say this. Before, during the weekday, after on weekends.
You have different habits. Do you brush your teeth in the same pattern every day? Think about it. Put your toothbrush into your mouth.
Probably, yeah.
Left side first?
Yep.
Always.
Yep.
See, it's weird. You don't think about things like that. What about smoking? Should smoking be illegal?
I don't say illegal.
No?
No.
What about the age? 21 like drinking?
I don't know. I guess I never thought of that. Nah. No. 18.
What about lower?
No.
Okay.
No.
So if you were going to set the ages for everything different than they are now or same, voting, 18 higher or lower?
Same.
Smoking, 18 higher or lower?
Same.
Drinking, 21 higher or lower?
Same.
Okay, so look about those. Why is, of all the things you need to have an age-specific limitation to do, why is renting a car the highest?
I was just wondering if that's what you were going to say.
25.
That doesn't make sense to me.
So explain to me why you can drink, smoke, vote,